So turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.
Yo, 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 yo. It is Magnetus here. And I have with me the lovely, the beautiful, the incomparable Helen. Say hi to the people. We are back. We say it bi-weekly, but a woman has a right to change her mind. So once a week it is for now. I mean, maybe we won't record next week. Who knows? But today we are here, and we are here to discuss episode 3 of RunTheWorld, titled Back to Business. General impressions?
I think it was a good episode. I think we got a lot of information on some of the things that we kind of were looking for so far. So I think and hope that the rest of the season progresses in this same kind of way.
I agree. The only thing that I was a little surprised about is that we didn't get any of Chicken's mother. I'm gonna figure out her name. What's her name? Tika's name on the show. Her name is Tika, but her name on the show is something else. We were also right about Chris. His name is Chris. It's just Chris Cabrera. Cabrera.
Chris Cabrera. That's
Chris
right.
Cabrera. But we had Chris right. So we want to get into it again because we started this off. Just so y'all know, we kind of have a discussion about what we're going to talk about before we get on here. And the text message, well, I'm sorry, not the text message. The message that Helen sent me was, once again, what the fuck is wrong with Whitney? Okay. Naomi is Amari's mother, just so we'll know for future reference.
Okay, good.
All right. So we'll start with Whitney. Let's go with Whitney. My thing is this. Whitney's she's processing. She is grieving, really, if we talk about it. She's grieving, and that's fine. But I don't understand why she would think that her coworkers, the people, her subordinates, her superiors,
who were not invited to the wedding,
would mention it at all. And not just that, I don't think she understands, or I don't get why she doesn't understand why they wouldn't mention it. Because my whole thought was, you've been out of work an extended amount of time past what you were supposed to be returned. So obviously you're having a hard time. Why would I ask you about it when you come back?
I know you're not okay. I don't need to ask.
It feels, I don't want to call her a narcissist. She's not a narcissist. It's just, It felt, I don't know. I don't even know the word for it, because it's almost like, I think it's misplaced anger, of course, right? We know it's misplaced vengeance. I get that. But I still don't, even with that, there's no part of me that understands why she would be mad at Rada. And then for her to say, I come in and the first thing you do is ask for a favor, I guess I kind of get it, but it didn't feel like a favor to me. It felt more like this is a networking opportunity because we work together. So can I be your plus one? It didn't feel like a favor. It felt more like a colleague to colleague. Hey, can you do this for me? And I guess technically that's a favor, but I didn't see it like that. Did you?
I didn't see it like that, one, because of what you said, but also she didn't even realize it was time for the event, right? This is a thing that happens every year. You haven't thought about it, obviously, because you didn't even realize it was time. And this is happening, I assume, within the week.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be asked now. I didn't text you 3 weeks ago when you were definitely going through it. I waited till you got back. You're not an easy person. Like Rada said, you're not an easy person to check on. I don't know how you would even breach that with somebody you don't talk to on a daily basis. Yeah, we work friends, but I wasn't invited to your wedding. None of us were. You made that abundantly clear. Why would we even discuss it? And I don't even think they should have had the treadmill moved, because it's a gift for you. And where would I move it to? Maybe you want it. Baby, let me tell you something. If I am going to get married and then I don't, I'm not returning no gifts. Thank you all. They are mine. I will be sure that he doesn't get any of them. Okay? Thank you all from me for all my new things. I appreciate it, and I will hug and love all my new items every day.
I didn't call it off.
Because I love y'all. And y'all sent me gifts, and I appreciate it.
I would look at it like this. I would probably send them back just because that's the right thing to do. However, if I sent somebody a wedding present and they didn't get married, I don't think I would feel a way if they didn't send the present back. Right. Like if they didn't get married for whatever reason. Now, if they get married again, I'm probably gonna send another present, right? Like that is that is your wedding present. I sent one already, but I don't think I would feel a way if they were like, "Oh, well, I'm keeping the Instapot." Oh, okay, I bought it for you. Like, oh, okay.
Right.
Good for you. I mean,
that was money going out of my pocket the day I spent it.
It was gone. I didn't expect it back. So I don't know. But with her, like the way that she carries herself and the decorum and her mom and her teachings and her Jack and Jill and all of that stuff, I would expect her to do like the who's the fancy lady that we're supposed to get all the advice from that knows the proper stuff. That had the column back in the day.
I know.
Y'all see who didn't go Jack and Jill, okay?
I was a Jack and Jill.
The finishing. I was not a finished young lady, okay?
I didn't do it like a debutante thing but I was in Jack and Jill first.
I did Gentile both. It was fun though. I had a good time. It wasn't my thing, but I was just somebody's date, but I had a blast. Okay. It was great. All right. So while we're on Whitney, they finally had her say something to Sunday about the thing we have been talking about since the beginning. You are the one, Sunday, that gave her the advice to tell Ola. It blew up in her face, and you have been living a lie. Now, Whitney finally says that to Sunday. Were you expecting her to say something, or were you think she was just going to let it go forever?
I was expecting her to say something. I was hoping that she would come out of her ass at some point, and because she's stuck in her own ass, and it's fine. She's been broken up with. Such drama. But like, I was hoping that she would eventually come to and realize, wait a minute, we had a problem at the same time, and you gave me the advice to be honest, and you took the other road. And why did you tell me to do this when you weren't going to? Because the way that she let it go, because when she told her, she was like, well, are you gonna tell Mr. Professor Man? And she said no. And that moment, I would have been like, well, bitch, I'm not telling Ola. But that's just me.
Or at least ask why not, right? Well, why aren't you gonna tell him?
Yeah. Right. Like, what is the reason? Because I need to know.
But okay, here's the thing with Whitney though. I think on top of Sunday telling her she needed to tell him, which also, again, I was down this hill, was bad advice. I think Whitney wanted to tell him, right? She just really wanted somebody to tell him so she could tell him. However, if that's the case, Whitney, then you don't really get to be mad at Sunday for telling you what you wanted to hear. Because that's what she wanted to hear. She did. She wanted somebody to say, you need to tell him, so that when it blows up, she could say, well, you told me to tell him. You said to tell him. No, it's what you wanted to do. It is. It was on your conscience, and you wanted to relieve yourself.
Right. And it just adds another layer that she didn't tell old boy about the apartment, because they should have just taken opposite roles, right? She should absolutely have told him about the apartment. Absolutely, she should have told him about the apartment. Like, it's a hard conversation to have when y'all have discussed moving in, but I believe if she had not lied and just said, you know what, I'm going to not let go of the apartment, but I will be living here, then it wouldn't have been as big of a deal as it was in the end.
Yes. Right. Okay. So my thought is exactly that. I think he would have been hurt. Like, I think it would sting, but I think he would have said, okay, I get it. Because especially when she brought up the fucking scone, that pissed me off. Okay, only because when he did it, it pissed me off. Like, it pissed me off when he did it. When he did it, it pissed me off because I'm like, dude, like she said, she's got to turn these pages over. She's got stuff to do. You should be at home anyway because you have a child there. And being at home with a child all day, you need some relief. Like you get a chance to like when you get off work, I understand you need a moment, right? But I've been here with her all day, and this is also your child. Like let's overstate that.
Right.
The problem I had with her bringing up the scone in the moment they were talking about the apartment was because I don't like when people bring up stuff because they're in trouble, right? Like it's probably about the scone. It 100% is about the scone. She said, okay, I don't have anything for myself. And if there's ever a time when he just wants to leave, I'm stuck in the house. Like, what am I going to do? So I get it. But you bring that up when we talk about the scone, when we talked about it and we resolved it. Don't bring, like I tell people all the time, if you forgive something, you got to let it go. You can't bring it up when you're mad in the situation, because I would have had the same reaction he had. Is this, why are we talking about the scone? This is you did something bad. Like this is on you right now. Don't bring that up. And even if that's a part of it, then say it, but don't try to make it seem like all of this is because of the scone.
Well, it's more than that. The scone incident was the perfect opportunity for her to tell him. Like, girl,
she didn't keep it that day. Like she decided I think she always knew she was gonna keep it. Like there was no point of her time when she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna give up this apartment." And I don't blame her. That's the thing.
I don't blame her. And because it's a great. Why would you let it go? It's student housing. You obviously can afford it. Why would you let it go? Why? And all this comes down because they ended up having to stay somewhere else. Again, another perfect opportunity for her to just come out and say it. You know, it was another perfect opportunity for her to come out and say it when he said, "Do you miss it?" And she was like, "No, I decided I'm not." Bitch, you been here this week.
Oh my gosh. That's what pissed me off the most. She kept lying. Like I don't, you don't have to lie. Like that's the thing. And I was having such a hard time because I never saw the problem with her keeping an apartment in the first place. But because she kept lying, that's how I knew she thought it was wrong. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there are times when you and I, let's say you and I, we don't agree because we're two different people, right? But if I am doing something because I don't think there's anything wrong with it, I don't lie to you about it. I just say, well, I'm doing this thing because this is the thing I want to do. Like it's not a big deal. Now, if I lie to you, it's because I know that either you will be pissed off about it, or if you did it to me, I would be pissed off about it. So with her, I think it's more so she feels like if he was keeping a secret from her, she'd be pissed off. And she should, because this is a big ass secret. Right. But she could have just said, "Hey, Matthew," like you said, tell him, "Hey, Matthew, this is a great apartment. There's no reason for me to give it up. Don't lie to you. Your ass was out getting a scone, and I realized I didn't have a sanctuary for myself. So this is gonna be my sanctuary. It has nothing to do with me thinking that we're not gonna work out. It has nothing to do with anything else. If she wants to marry him, I don't know if she even wants to get married, but if we get married and it's whatever else, I'll give it up then. But as of now, no, I'm just going to keep it. And I'll absolutely live with you because I want to. I love being here with you. I love living here with you. I also really love my apartment, so I'm going to keep it. Then.
And that is a great stance. And I agree with it 100%. But I think that some people, and I think that Matthew might be one of these people who thinks that, well, since she has that outlet, if something goes wrong or if we have a fight, she's just going to run to the apartment. Which, okay, I could run anywhere else too. Like, I could run to some other man's house if I don't have that apartment. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are afraid of the wrong things at a lot of the wrong times. And that's what kind of leads people. And I mean, I'm not excusing her for lying because she shouldn't have lied. She should have been told him about it. But that is part of the reason why people be lying about shit like that. Because people, because you kind of know how people are gonna, it's just easier to not deal with it. But then when it comes out, because it's always gonna come out, because why is Ola walking around New York at night, standing outside his apartment, reminiscing about the day that his fiance told him that she slept with another man? Why are you standing out here, sir?
He just had to see where it all went wrong. I think too, the other layer of the apartment is every time she went to the apartment, that's another lie. Because she's lying. She's either lying through omission by not telling Matthew where she's going, or telling Matthew she's going somewhere else. So that's like I think it really should be stated that she's lying to him constantly. And it goes beyond, it goes beyond the apartment at that point. It's just like, bitch, you just lie? Like this, you just lie to my face daily or weekly or however much. Because if she's buying groceries, she's there frequently.
Like when you said groceries, I was like, oh, it's over.
This bitch got groceries. Groceries, really? Really? You making sandwiches in this thing? Well, I hope that that work. I don't know how it's gonna work out. And then okay, so I think the thing that threw me off was because when they were walking to the apartment, walking by it, Ola was there. I thought they were walking by so she could be like, all right.
Me too. Why would you come over here if you weren't gonna tell him? That's what I thought.
Then she told a big ass lie, do you miss it?
Apartment? I haven't heard that name in years.
She should have been like, yes. As a matter of fact, I miss it so much that
I'm like, no, I don't miss it because I'm there once a week.
Like, I never gave it up. Oh, and then there was just so many opportunities for her to tell him, Helen. The leak. When he asked that she miss it, Ola standing there, she could have said something, even if it was to get herself out of it right then. I don't know. What did she not think? Oh, did she not think Ola was going to say anything? Did she not know Ola was there when it happened?
Ola was gonna say something.
Yeah.
And Ola knew she didn't know. Ola knew Matthew didn't know about the apartment.
Did he? Oh, he sure did. I think in his defense, I don't think he was being malicious. I
don't think so.
I forgot that he knew because he did. Because somebody didn't he ask why they were in there?
Whitney, yeah, he asked why y'all here. He's like this. He asked us Matthew know about this, I think.
But in his defense, he probably forgot all that shit after what happened next. But I forgot that he knew. He sure did know.
He absolutely knew that Matthew had no clue about the apartment.
And his reaction is also an indicator of how people would react or how Matthew possibly would react. But everybody's reaction was like that. Well, like, you're not gonna tell him? She's like, no. Okay, girl. We discussed how they were gonna incorporate our girl Barb or Maxine Shaw, attorney at law, who she is always for us.
Always.
And they did. Yay. I'm happy that she was still there in whatever capacity. I didn't even care if it's lame, whatever. I just want her there. So the fact that they kind of worked her in via networking, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
I don't think it's lame. Because she kind of always, to me, in this show was going to be that older, more experienced, sage advice giving, and that's exactly what she was in this episode. She looked Whitney dead in the face and like, ma'am, in this, let's talk about it, because Whitney was really, like I said, having a Miss Havisham moment. If y'all ain't read Great Expectations, I'm sorry. Go read it. Don't. But that's the reference. She is laying on this table with her wedding dress on, feeling jilted. Why does she have on this white big ass bow and outfit? And just why are you walking around in white, sis? Just and Barb looks her dead in the face and says, ma'am.
Go ahead, I'm Whitney. You Barb, I'm Whitney.
Life is too short for what ifs, and there are no mistakes. Like, that is the best advice I have ever heard.
Right.
Meanwhile, Whitney goes back and doesn't take the advice. Or she does, but to me, she doesn't. And I'm glad she didn't, because I don't like Philip.
What about Philip don't you like? I honestly want to say, I think Philip is the token light skin since the devil had to go, whatever. So they just kind of brought him back in. But why don't you like Philip?
I think I don't like his face. I don't like his hairline. I don't really love his accent. His hair looks too groomed, if that makes sense. I love a good crispy hairline and a fresh fade, but his hair just looks fake. I don't know. It's just something about him feels ingenuine. Because you rolling up in here after my marriage has failed to go through, and you just had a big breakup, and all of a sudden you're back from London. Okay.
You know, you sound like his hairline, whack. His foot stance, whack. The way I just smile, whack. Me, I'm tight. That's how you say. You just went off like his hair, his eyes, his face, his general disposition.
And then the way he rubbed that finger, like, sir, don't do this.
He really made sure to let her know, hey, I can touch this because there's nothing there. Just in case you forgot.
and then gonna ask about it. Boy, hush.
You knew. Like he knew. And it's not by any chance happenstance. I'm with you. He knew, and it feels like he went to seek her out because it was like, oh, this is my opportunity. I'm going to shoot my shot. And I feel like that's what it is because he said something about her kicking him out of a study group or something. Mm-hmm. It's like a flame that he has for her that he's had. I don't know. Yes. Do you think? What do you think is going to go with that? How is that going to go?
I think they're gonna drag it out a little bit because they told at the end of this episode she told him I'm not ready for drinks, which I'm glad because sis, you're not.
She's not.
You're absolutely not the type of person to get over one man by getting under another one. That's not you. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad you recognize that. So I like that she did tell him no, but she's gonna end up.
What I don't want to happen,
going for drinks eventually.
What I don't want to happen is because I found myself thinking it, and I'm glad that I thought it and dismissed it immediately because I was like, this ain't about Ola. My thought was, oh no, if she sleep with somebody else, they're never getting back together. Like definitely never.
I had that thought too.
But then I said, well, so what? Like I hate to say it in that way, but I'm like, I get that he's hurt. He's sad and he's going through things. But Whitney is too, even though she's the person that kind of catapulted this whole thing. I get it, but she's sad too. So if they're broken up, then they're broken up. Now, I know it's not easy for people, and it wouldn't be easy for me to say, well, damn, we broke up and you just went and slept with somebody else that fast? Like, right. What the hell? But y'all were broken up, and you know that is a risk you take when you're broken up. And it's not fair for Whitney to sit back and do nothing because maybe Ola might one day decide that he's over it while he gets to go and wild out. Because he could, right? Since he's the one that's been cheated on, it seems acceptable for him to go and do what he wants to do until he's ready to be over it and then come take her back. But she's supposed to sit and be a lady in waiting and chase because she already cheated and just wait for him to decide he wants her back. And then she's been pure and clean in the meantime. And that's not fair. So I think when you make a decision, you got to stick with it and consider and accept the ramifications of said decision. So since Ola said it's over, then it's over. And if you come back later on, you have to accept that she's going to be different. And it's best just to not ask anything about it. And the same for her. Like y'all either still love each other, you don't. Do you have a baby? No. Do you have a disease? No. Okay, well then let's work it out. Okay. Or even if you have this baby or this disease, if I'm willing to accept it, then that's fine. But I'm just thinking those two things are major things that you have that are with you, that you have to carry with you. And if not, then whatever. But I'm saying that's what you have to consider. Right. And if she can get over it and he can get over it, then they'll be fine. But I don't know. I don't know if he would be willing to accept that she just didn't sit and wallow and wait for him to come, wait for her man to come back.
I'm gonna go with no because, and this might be surprising to everyone, but it's not because of the things he said to her the day that he told her. It is because of what he told. Oh, his name is not AJ.
Jason.
Renee. Jason. What he told Jason on the phone. I don't know. Somebody's son. She because of what he told Jason on the phone when he told him he should come to Atlanta. And he told him, no, I'm not gonna come to Atlanta and wild out with bitches because I don't want to.
Because you know what come to Atlanta means.
Right. You know exactly what come to Atlanta means.
Come wild out.
Come to Magic City.
Come to Magic City. Come to Blue Flame.
Come
to Strokers. All of them.
Come to Follies.
Some closed.
That was my favorite.
Follies closed. Yeah. But that's what it is. Come down here. Come down here with
with me, a divorcee.
Yeah, and we're gonna have fun. And that's what we're gonna do.
Ola said no. So
yeah, I think Ola thinks deep down that they'll get back together. But again, I think he thinks that she's doing the same thing. Like they're just taking a moment to be sad and whatever else, and then eventually it'll be okay. But Whitney might not. And I'm not even sure if she wants to get married, though.
Whitney is going to find herself, and I am sitting here patiently waiting for it. She's going to have to go through this to get through this.
And she don't have a choice. Like, that's it. Speaking of divorcees, Renee's networking, and she meets the man in a tracksuit. Did he have on a tracksuit?
Yeah, on a tracksuit.
Tracksuit or some Nike Tech, whatever.
You got to know that the man in a tracksuit at the networking event is the richest man in the room. Like,
because he don't like the one that doesn't care.
I don't care nothing about none of these people because I own all these people.
Did she think that he was in the same position she was in that networking event? Like he was maybe a +1 and somebody just kind of let him come? But would you be talking shit like that if you, again?
Well, if I thought we were peers, then yes. If I saw you sitting here looking bored and I thought that we were here on the same level, absolutely.
No. I don't mean you talking. If you walk up to me though, and I start talking shit about him, you wouldn't be like, oh, she might have, like, there's a reason she doesn't care about these people, or that she doesn't care that she's talking shit about these people to me, a stranger.
To me, no, because being somebody who has been to such events, all those people are fake, right? Like everybody there is fake or faking it. I won't say they're fake. Like some people genuinely want to network and move up, but it's all a charade. Like nobody's being their actual self, right?
Okay.
Because there are some people in business, and it's like a majority of people who have a higher up. So this is an event where you get sponsored to come to be a part of this association. There's a certain decorum that you're supposed to have. Like you can't really be yourself. So for her to walk up and be like, all these people are fake, I get it because I'm that girl. Like I'm like in the room, like now I see somebody else over here kicking it. He looks kind of cool. She told me, like you don't even have to have a job. You're already the coolest person in the room to me. So I'm gonna sit with you because we gonna sit over here and kiki about these people. Okay. And he did kind of let on because she asked, she's like, who are you with? Firm are you with? And he said, nobody. She said, well, then why are you here? And he said, because I come to these things to laugh at people, right? Like, so then that kind of was her definite end, right? So it wasn't a complete folly. He was giving off the vibe, right? Like, to me, it was, I don't know.
I can feel it. I didn't, because it felt legit though. It didn't feel like he was doing it for the sake of I'm trying to be edgy. It felt like he was just kind of like, man, I'm here, but
right,
why am I here? Type of thing. And like you said again, Barb, I'm like this. I like that she's just like, hey, I'm not gonna be able to help her, but go tell your girl she talking to the right one. Like that's who she needs to be with. She did that on her own. She gravitated him towards him for a reason, and thankfully it was good. So let's do it. And I actually, probably my favorite part of the show was when he was like, "Should I Google you?" She's like, "Not yet. Don't do that. Don't do that. Not yet. Wait a little bit, and then do it." Question. Sandy and Matthew had their debate about critical race theory and all of these things, and she kind of threw a jab about parents not being able to talk about sex and all the good stuff. I didn't think it was a bad thing. I thought it fit with the combo, but I think it kind of felt like a throwaway, but I think they're setting up what's about to happen between the four of them, being Amari, Sandy, Matthew, and I forgot her name already.
Naomi.
And Naomi, because there's no doubt in my mind, Naomi's probably going to be like, oh, who told y'all to have this conversation with her without me? And I am hoping that even though Naomi has been absent, she's back, that they won't have this conversation without talking to Naomi about it. Because I think that would be an overstep since she's back. Like you can still have the conversation because Matthew has every right to have a conversation with his daughter. But I think he should mention it to Naomi, especially if it's going to be him and Sunday, because Naomi should be given the opportunity to be a part of it in some kind of way.
I think it's a setup, either for it to be an argument. Hopefully, they come to her and say, "We want to talk to Amari about these things," and either ask her to be a part of the conversation or just tell her, give her the courtesy of saying, "We are going to have this conversation with her," and she disagrees. That's what I hope happens. Because if they just kind of go behind her back and have a conversation with the baby, and the baby says something to her about it, like, that's gonna be messy.
And it should be. Yeah, it should be, because again, I know she's been absent for her job requirements, but now that she's there, the least you could do is say, "Hey, this is what we plan to do, and we would like for you to be a part of it." But I do think too, if Naomi says no, that is kind of a personal problem, because and it's not just because of the whole "you're the mother," because I get that, but Matthew is also her father. So as parents, he has the right to say what he wants to talk to his daughter about just as much as she does. So Sunday might get tricky, like that part of it might get tricky, but as far as the conversation goes itself, if Matthew says they're gonna have it, then it's gonna be had.
It's gonna be had.
Yeah.
Right.
That's pretty much it for this one. I enjoyed it, like you said. I hope Renee does get something well out of it. It seems like Rich Man is like choosing on the low too. Yes. Helen.
The reason the man was at the networking event was to scope out little cuties trying to get monies, right? I do think that it is possible that he might have a match in Renee. Okay. Like, it's like you've met your match, but I don't want it to be a situation. And here we always talking about what we don't want. Writers, listen up, okay? Like, just enough. Because there's always a man that shows up. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always a magical man has showed up. Philip, now millionaire, billionaire boy, tracksuit. Like, I want Renee to be smart about this. And she did kind of, she was like, you know, he was like, I was going to ask you out. And she was like, well, I want to network. And he was like, why can't we do both? And while I think that's a terrible idea, she gave him his card. I think that she did make it clear, I want investments. And if you want to date, okay. Because what he said was, I am the network.
He did.
I quote.
He did. His money must be long. Like, them pockets are deep.
Deep. He got Spotify money, obviously. Like...
Yeah.
So I think that'll be a good thing, even if they do end up together, which, I mean, it's cool or whatever, as long as he gets her connected in some way to what she needs and doesn't hold it over her head.
Why am I just putting this together? You said Spotify, and I didn't think about it, but because it's like, it's pretty much a competitor to Spotify.
Yeah.
But Jason, so he's in music. I didn't even, that might also kind of,
that's gonna be a thing.
It's either gonna be a thing where she pulls Jason in and the dude is like, oh, you were using me for your ex-husband, blah, 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 something like that. Or she doesn't, and Jason's like, my nigga, I'm right here. Why didn't you hook me up with blah, 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 blah. So they've got avenues they can take in this situation, because I don't think him being in the music industry is a coincidence as far as writing goes.
No, not at all.
So I hope it works out well. I want everybody to be okay. Like I do, even if they're not together. I think Sunday and Matthew's relationship is probably the most likely to survive, but only if because I don't even think it's him. Like, I think there's a point where, yes, you have to let your significant other be about their work and be in tune with it and take calls and all that good stuff. I also think it's a bit much to take a call while we're having sex. Like, that's just a lot. At this time, this 5-10 minutes or whatever, it's our time. When we're done, just answer the phone. Like,
or call her back.
Yeah. And also, let's not talk about her, you know, while I'm inside of you. Like he said, that's a lot. So I don't think he's going to be the issue when it comes to work. I think Sunday is going to see that it's going to take some compartmentalizing maybe, or some time management to do both. And she's going to possibly blame him and say he's not being supportive or he's not helping her, when in actuality that's not the case. She just doesn't know how to prioritize.
Right.
But I think she'll figure it out. I hope at least she figures it out.
I hope she figured it out, but it all comes back down to she's not as mature as she thinks she is. She needs to grow up.
Standing on it till she shows me otherwise, because that's just what it is. Because it's a lot though. Like she went into a family. She didn't just start dating Matthew and let that happen. She went into a whole family because he had full custody of Amari from jump. Seems like from when they started dating. I mean,
right from when.
Or maybe not. I don't know, because she obviously knows Naomi, so maybe it happened and she knew he had a daughter, and then she was already in love and whatever, because they kind of just dropped the family on us. So I don't know how it all happened, but the point is she's already in a family. So I don't want, if whatever happens with them, I want it to be with them. I don't want her to stay with him because of Amari, but I don't want her to leave him because she can't handle it all either. I want her to be like, I don't know how to handle this all. And then they figure it out.
And then I want her to stop being surprised that Baptiste sees something in her. Like, girl, I wish I'd chosen you to mentor if I didn't think that you could do what needed to be done.
Because it's Baptiste, right? Like, I understand if it were anybody else and like, oh, well, maybe she's just doing this because she's Matthew's friend. No, Baptiste, if she didn't like you, she wouldn't have picked you.
She wouldn't be doing this.
Like, I don't think it has nothing at all to do with Matthew. At all. If it was up to her, you and Matthew wouldn't even be together. So it's not like, I'm doing my friend a favor. She likes you, girl.
We need another Roseanne episode where these hoes are at therapy talking about their imposter syndrome.
That's what I was gonna say.
It wasn't Roseanne. It was.
It wasn't. It was Rosie. Yeah. I do like that. Renee did go to therapy about her divorce. So I think she is in a better place to move on, although I don't feel like she has, because we just see what happened with Jason. But she's actually in a better place than Whitney. Whitney's not ready at all. Like Whitney needs a moment to, like, even if she does have casual sex, I think they've shown us that that's not her jam. So that's not the avenue she needs to take to move on. She needs to get herself together. And if she has some sex in the process and she's happy with that, that's cool. But she shouldn't use that as her therapy, or whatever else. But yeah, that's it. Any other thoughts? Any closing remarks?
I got nothing. We talked about it all.
We have talked about it all. We will be back same bat time.
Same bat
channel. Same channel. But time, who knows? But please check us out. If you enjoy it, let us know. If you have any comments, let us know in the comment box. Any suggestions, whatever else. You can hit Helen up at Hacking on the Twitter while it still lives for now. I don't know. But yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Peace.